How are you? Today's day 4 of the Inner Union series, and I'm going to dive into what's happening with the divine feminine collective right now on the planet. And it's really what inspired me to do this series because there's so many divine feminines coming into deeper states of inner union. And as more and more of us do this, in whatever stages we're in, it's not a race, but there's so many of us working on this right now that it's creating a big part of the paradigm shift that we're experiencing on the planet right now. Any of you have watched any of my videos in the past, I've spoke about how as the feminines were going through their transition and transformation over the past 3 or 4 years at deeper levels, the masculines were holding the space in the old paradigm to help support the feminine in feeling triggered or awakened into the new states of being. And this is not to say that we weren't going through other levels of awakening prior to the past 3 or 4 years, but you guys know about 3 or 4 years ago, the whole planet went into a shutdown, which was allowing for actually a switchover from the old paradigm into the new. I know that in other explanations and perspectives, the opposite is happening. And that is true on some levels and layers. But there are a majority of us that are probably here on this channel that are moving into the new paradigm despite what it looks like in the other timelines. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today. I also, for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with us. I wanted to tell you a little bit about how I work sometimes. You'll see sometimes I just totally freestyle, and sometimes you will see me pull in the cards. And I don't use those in the necessarily traditional sense. I actually like to use the artwork and the symbolism as kind of a trigger point for me to know which topics to talk about because there's just so many things that I want to talk to you about. I don't want to keep you here for hours and hours, although I would love to, but I know you guys all have lives to live and things to do. So I sometimes use the cards to bring in the most succinct and important messages for you in the moment. So I'm going to experiment with that today for those of you who are new, and you can kind of get a vibe for how I work when I do this. And again, I would love to hear from you, how you're doing, what's been going on, um, masculine or feminine, because I do know that we have masculines here on the channel as well. And so this is not only females working with the feminine and masculine sides. There are masculines doing the work too. Thank you. We appreciate you. Mm. And I was actually guided to get out a few decks I haven't worked with in a while. The Priestess of Light deck. And as I was pulling it out to get the messages for the feminines, I was actually guided to immediately get the Shaman Dream because I was told that the masculines also have a message for the feminines as the feminines are rising in the new paradigm, establishing herself in a stronger and stronger way, and seeding the new ways of being. And one of the things that is coming out that feels really important to acknowledge is in the old paradigm, prosperity and abundance was seen via how much you could work or how much money you could make or how many things you could have in the material world. And although that's fine and it's great to have those things, in the new paradigm, we're going to have those too. But there is a pocket of time as we're going through this transition that many feminines let go of a lot of their material worlds, not because she doesn't want that, but because she was shedding the old paradigm to allow space for her true creativity and her true ability to manifest even broader prosperity and abundance for herself and her planet. This is really important. So the feminines had to shed the old ways of the workaholic mentalities so that she could move into her true creativity and flow, which again, I'm going to repeat it, allows for true bounty and creativity and abundance for herself and her family and her planet. The principles of the masculine and feminine co-create together. So if we snuff out the true feminine essence, we're losing half of our power to create and manifest, which is what we see in a lot of our world and what is in the process of changing. The thing is that I want to hear if you guys have experienced this. I think there's many feminines who knew that she needed to move into her own way of doing things, following her guidance, following her intuition, willing to look at her logical side, willing to step into the physical realms, but also knowing that she has to do it from her heart, not for money, not for affirmation and validation, but from her heart, from her guidance, from her truth, knowing and understanding that as she does that and embodies that, all the rest is going to come. So there's many feminines who have been learning to fully hold space for themselves to be safe enough to receive this support. Okay. And about a year or so ago, I received a message that it was so imperative that the feminines allow themselves to drop into full receptivity, because what this does is it also creates the energy for Mother Earth to receive the support and the essence that she's needing to thrive as well, the whole entire planet. Okay. So as we purify and care for ourselves as feminines, we're supporting the purification for the earth. So think of it as like people, we think about the environmental issues that are happening in the world, right? Whatever you believe, but whatever we see, we know things could be better, right? But when you focus on detoxing and purifying yourself and your own body and taking that personal responsibility, you're actually supporting that for the earth as well. Okay. And this isn't to say you're responsible for that, but in a sense, it's a reciprocation. It just is a reciprocation, because without Mother Earth, we have no home. We have no body, right? Our body is made up of the same exact elements of the earth. Okay. So caring for our body is caring for the earth. Caring for the earth is caring for our body. Our true home is the earth and our body. And then our house is our secondary home. Okay. So let's see where this goes. I just want to give much props to all the ladies and to all those working on their feminine energies, regardless of how you identify. This is amazing that we've reached this point. And now what's happening as the feminines are stabilized in the new paradigm, or stabilizing, right? Each day that we're out and about, each day that we're taking action, each day that we're letting ourselves have new experiences. And as we're standing and stabilizing in our standards and our self-love, we're actually holding the stabilized energy to one, receive those things for ourselves, but we're actually also holding those space for the rest of the planet. And for the masculines to have their time now that we're stable, now it's time for the masculines to go through their process of purification, whatever that looks like for them. We're going to find out if they have any messages around that for us today. But you will know some of what's happening as you're working on your inner union with your internal masculine and feminine energies. As you notice, as you come into deeper states of harmony within yourself, you will see that mirrored in the masculines around you. Okay. So the biggest indicator that you will know that the masculines are in a purification transformation process is because you will be. Okay, loves. And I've also noticed that there is a lot of feminines, as they're stabilizing in their own internal strength, they're coming together. We're coming together with other feminines. More feminines are coming together in sisterhood and community and camaraderie to support one another and strengthening at even deeper levels as we're holding space for the masculines to go through their transformation. So now we're just going to go in and see what other messages want to come through for my lovelies here today. We got two. We got River of Blessings, Release Constraints, and Miracles, Ancient Wisdom. Gorgeous. So right out of the gate, as you are allowing yourself to hold space for yourself, to feel safe within your own body, within your own emotions, within your own spiritual nature, as you release yourself from the old paradigms, from the old codependent ways, allowing yourself to drop into independence and then a healthy interdependence, releasing the attachments to what was and allowing yourself to step forward with an open heart in preparation for true, genuine connections. This is allowing your true inner miracles and ancient wisdom to step forward. And this is what I feel is a big part of what is rising in the divine feminine, sacred feminine, feminine collective. As we're stabilizing in our own energies, in our own inner union, it's allowing us to come back into a stabilization of our true essences and energies as feminines. Okay. Yes, we are a mixture of the masculine and feminine essences. And as we come into inner union with those energies, it allows us to step into that sacred feminine energy and power. Okay. And I'm just going to say, keep going. You're doing beautiful. The planet needs you. The planet loves you. The planet supports you in return. So as you're developing and expanding your spiritual connection, also be growing and expanding your earthly connection, because one feeds the other. The more we ground and stabilize and expand our connection into the earth, claiming our true space and our true birthright as feminines on the planet, we hold space for that to expand spiritually. Okay. It's like a tree. The roots grow deeper and then they grow wider and farther outward. Okay. And I saw this vision this morning of many sisters standing around the planet, stabilized, holding hands, and turning to face the collective energies on the planet, holding space, knowing that we have done and are doing our part, but also turning to face everyone else to say, we love you, we're here, we're stable, and now it's your turn to take responsibility for your piece and your part. Okay. Not overgiving, not withholding, but stabilizing in a healthy way, with healthy boundaries, with healthy standards, but with an open heart. And many of you have built this muscle and the capacity to do this because of what you've been walking. You've been willing to look at your shadows. You've been willing to take responsibility for your patterns. You've been doing the deep ancestral work. You've been breaking the generational curses. Okay. And I just also want to acknowledge that this work is still going. It's an ongoing process. At least right now, we're in it, but we're strong enough to where we understand this and we've accomplished enough that instead of getting caught up in the what's wrong with me, I'm not doing good enough, there's enough feminines that are like, oh no, this is my work. We're good. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm making moves. I'm transmuting old ways of being, and they're in my cells and they're in my memories, but I'm clearing them. I'm transmuting them, and I'm stabilizing the new ways of being inside of me first, in my cells, in my body, as I bring more and more of my essence home and allow more and more of my essence to be thawed out from the depths of my heart, to rise up into who all of who I am, right? And then allowing that part of you to be present on the planet, first for yourself, and then you're sharing that out in the world by just being present. And then whatever other ways you're guided. Okay. All right. Do we have anything else for the feminines? Yes. Sacred breath and sound, life force communication. So, feminines, we're being called to strengthen our voices again internally first, and then in whatever way you're called to externally, becoming comfortable in your truth with love, with embodying that strength with stability, with respect and reciprocation for all others, but first and foremost for yourself. Because as you're embodying that respect and commitment to your own sacred sound and your own sacred voice, and you're protecting your own truth, it will become easier and easier to lovingly stand within that and embody it, no matter what might happen. Okay. No matter what people might say or think or do about you stepping into this level of your ancient wisdom and your power. But loves, make no doubt about it. It is what this planet is wanting and needing deeply. Okay. We're all missing and wanting and craving the sacred feminine and sacred masculine energies and essences fully aligned and stabilized within us and on this planet. So whatever you're doing, whatever stage you're in, the fact that you're even here participating, you're doing it, loves. Just keep going with whatever is in front of you. There are going to be days that feels like you've gone backwards. You haven't. It's actually a sign that you're stronger and you're able to go deeper into the transmutation. And if you give it some space and you give yourself some care, it'll move and you'll come out even stronger. When you have those moments when you are alone, breathe deeply into your own body. Feel the support of your own breath. Allow the sacred sounds of your own voice to rumble through your body, whatever those are. The primordial energies of your essence. Allow those to come free. Allow those to open up and be free within you. Your own voice, your own sound holds the codes to your own transformation and activation of those ancient wisdoms, love. Whether it's a mantra or toning or just vibrations, singing, making up your own sounds, totally just letting whatever wants to come out of you without any judgment or censorship. Just allow it to flow, loves. Allow that primal, gorgeous, ancient, divine feminine, sacred feminine essence to rise within and activate every single cell of you. I feel it. I feel the power. I feel the excitement. And I'm so grateful to be here with you, embodying and stabilizing in this gorgeousness. Ooh, I gotta give that a second. Let yourself truly feel the vibrations of those from my voice to your heart. Allow your voice to strengthen and expand and build. I can feel the energy and the essence inside of you. And it's gorgeous. And I'm so excited to feel and sense more from you. Ooh, okay, masculines, what do you got to say to that, loves? What do you want to say to the feminines? What messages want to come through from the masculines? I feel like They're kind of step back right now, just watching in awe of what the feminines have been accomplishing. They didn't foresee it. They thought it was going to be more of the same old pattern of running and chasing and projecting and insecurity and invalidation and rejection and all of those things. And now that that's not happening, they're in a little bit of shock, but not in a bad way. It's just they're having to take a step back and rethink and rework all the energies that they've known. But this is part of that process of the unraveling the distortions and the inversions and the suppression in their system. So continue to hold the line with love, self-love, unconditional self-love. Unconditional self-love is the foundation of unconditional love because it's a necessary 50% of unconditional love. You have to be a part of that equation, right? Unconditionally loving you is how you become available to unconditionally love others. And in the old paradigm, many of us thought the energies of unconditional love was overgiving of ourselves, putting ourselves on the back burner, and being willing to self-sacrifice or self-betray for others. Now we know better. Now we know we're working on it. We're unraveling self-betrayal. We're stepping into self-devotion, right? Okay. They're a little bit stunned, but we're going to see where they're at. But I still feel that many are silent, but they do want to come through today. But many of them are very silent right now. There's a little bit of deer in the headlights energy. Okay. What else do we got with this, loves? First breath, beginner's mind. So we have sacred breath and sound, the first breath. And it just really made me want to cry because these are two separate decks, two separate authors. Look at the energies. Look at the colors. Have you wondered if we're working together, loves? We can't really, this is the internal union, right? But also the masculine collectives coming forth to acknowledge that our stepping into our voice and sound is inspiring them to take new breaths. And it's within your own internal energies where you're doing this for yourself. Like I said, if you see, feel, and sense the changes within you, within your masculine, within your feminine, then know that that is affecting and supporting the external masculines and feminines around you. This feels like the feminines are like have been birthed and they're growing, right? The masculines are in gestation, but those cells are dividing pretty rapidly as I looked into that energy. There's something new activating, like how I said, this said beginner's mind. So with how I said they're kind of stunned and everything they thought they knew is getting kind of flipped on them right now, it's allowing them to make a transition into a new perspective. I can see it's almost like sometimes it's rewinding. This is like fast forwarding and rewinding. Interesting. But it's rewinding. It's fast forwarding to kind of see where the feminines are projecting, where the trajectory is headed. And then they're rewinding to what they knew. And they're gaining a new perspective. And it's through like an unraveling. It's like they're getting the downloads around, oh, this is what it was. This is where they're headed. This is what they're showing us. This is the new path. Now I have to come back to center into my still point and adjust. They're finding their own footing. with what is true for them. And it's going to take time, just like it took time for us. So be patient, space, and grace as always. But they wanted us to know that their whole perspective and mindset is being challenged and shifted right now. And it's just, yeah. Can we get anything else with that? Is there anything for us to know? They're healing old wounds. They're in a lot of inner contemplation, healing PTSD and war wounds. Feeling the stabilization of the feminines is allowing them, feeling how strong the feminines are, is allowing them to go into that deep internal healing that the feminines just have been more and more stabilized in. It doesn't mean we're perfect or all done, but like I said, we kind of got the knack for it. We've healed a lot of our emotional patterns. We're much more tempered and stable and strong within that. And so now it's allowing that still point. It's going to take a little bit of time, but in the stillness, in the still point is where their transformation in nervous system healing is happening. It feels like that is one of the most important things that's needing to occur. So feminines or masculines, whoever is here watching this, the message that's coming through is to find whatever nervous system support you might be needing. Quiet, relaxation. I can come up with a whole bunch of things, but we're just going to let you guys sort through it. But acknowledging that the nervous system needs some time and space to heal from constant survival, constant tug of war. It feels like one of the first things that needs to happen, but it also feels like one of the biggest because this is the space the masculines have held for centuries. Provider, protector, and it's been ingrained in their system to be that type of physical world warrior. And this isn't to negate that. It's just to allow it to expand to the new levels as the masculines can embody more and more of their true essence. So this deep nervous system healing and adjustment is going to take time. Okay, just like it did for the feminines, just like we're still in some of that process. Okay, all right. They just want you to know it's in process. Okay. Can we get one more overall final message for those of you watching here? I'm going to pull from the True Love deck just because it feels good to round out the energies of the inner and external union, and also within the divine masculine and divine feminine planetary collectives. What do we got? What do we got? Worthiness. It's funny because last night I just re-publicized a meditation that I shared on the live a few months ago around embodying worthiness. Must have known it was coming. But as any of us, notice where we may have felt unworthy or unloved or unwanted, wherever that might be in our system, even in the ancestral system or in that core wound. This is actually a specific topic we're going to address in Wednesday's group. If you're interested, that information will be in the pinned comment. But really tapping into and allowing yourself to drop into your own internal worthiness, knowing what you want and that you're worthy to receive it in feminines or masculines, as you actually allow yourself to open up to receiving what you truly want versus settling for what you think it could be, but truly dropping into what you want and then believing and receiving it is going to help everyone. Because again, I said the planet is also equally counting on humanity to ascend with her, to evolve with her. And as we believe and know and understand that we're worthy, we also hold that deeper space for her again to receive what she's needing. And then she can reciprocate in kind to provide us with what we need. Okay. And this also goes for our connections and our relationships in our day-to-day life. As we step into our worthiness, we hold that space for the ones we love to step into their worthiness. Okay, loves? Be the example. Embody the essences of what you want to see in the world. It is a process. It takes time. We can intellectually and spiritually understand these concepts. It's way different, one, intellectualizing them versus actually embodying them. Embodying them takes time. Walking this part of our talk takes time, and that is okay. Own it. Sometimes there's awkward moments. Sometimes we're fully embodied, and the next day we're only halfway there, but it's because you're actually embodying deeper. It's all okay. Give yourself space and grace on this journey, and please know that you've been doing amazing, and it's being felt, and it's being heard. And thank you. I love you, and I'm so very grateful to be here with you and doing this Inner Union series. I hope you're enjoying it. I would love to hear from you. I love your feedback. Again, if you have any topics you might want to hear about in this series, please drop it in the comments and let me know. All right, loves, take care. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.